Welcome to BearZone. I'm Brittany Wiley.
And I'm Joe Buchanan. Coming up, UNC women's basketball made program history Saturday.
And Fly, Eagles, Fly. The Philadelphia Eagles win Super Bowl 52. We have the highlights right here.
We've got all that and more this week on BearZone. Don't go anywhere.
It was a big weekend for UNC women's basketball, and it all started Thursday night in Missoula, Montana. The Bears started off a little rocky against the Montana Grizzlies. Northern Colorado shot a meager 34.5% in the first half, leaving Montana room to earn the 27-23 lead at half. Both teams struggled to start the third quarter, missing the first 13 shots. But the Bears turned things around and shot 73.6% in the second half to earn the 64-58 comeback victory. The Bears looked to keep the momentum going Saturday after making the 3-hour trip east to Bozeman. They certainly kept the momentum going against Montana State. This time the Bears got started early with Savannah Smith's 15 points in 10 minutes of play. Smith cooled down in the second quarter and the Bobcats bounced back to lead the Bears 36-31 at half. Another strong second half with 47 points on 60% shooting led the Bears to the 78-63 win over Montana State. The victory made program history, giving the Bears the season sweep over Montana schools for the first time. The Bears hit the court again this afternoon for a battle with Idaho State Bengals for Health and Hoops Day. In front of nearly 2,000 Weld County School District 6 students, UNC pulled off its fourth straight win, overtaking the Bengals 75-52. The Bears' record jumps to 17-6 overall and 9-3 in the conference. You can catch the Bears Saturday at Bank of Colorado Arena when they take on Weber State at noon.
The Bears were playing catch-up all night as their second half comeback fell short against Big Sky juggernaut Montana Thursday at the Bank of Colorado Arena. Despite a gallant performance from Spite, who had a game-high 32 points, the Bears lost 89-79 to the Grizzlies, who swept the season series. Early in the game, it was neck and neck between the teams, and with 8 minutes to go, the Grizzlies started pulling away, leading 25-10. But the Bears didn't go away, going on a 27-12 run. The game at 37 apiece going into the half. As the second half began, the Grizzlies came out gunning with a quick 7-0 run and were ready to push the lead. The game continued to go their way as they kept a near double-digit lead for the majority of the second half. The Bears scratched and clawed to get back into the game, and with under 3 minutes to go, they got within 6. But the balanced attack from the Grizzlies was too much to overcome. The Grizzlies finished with 4 players in double figures. With the loss, the Bears fall to 14-9 overall and 5-5 in the conference. As for the Grizzlies, they improved to 17-5 overall and 10-0 in the conference. Senior Andre Spite just keeps on rolling. The Montana State Bobcats visited Greeley Saturday for a date with the Bears, and the Bears were prepared. After just 4 minutes of play, the Bears led the Bobcats 15-8. UNC didn't lose the lead through the first half, thanks in part to Spite's 18 first-half points. Junior Chaz Glada sank a 3 to send the Bears to the locker room up 38-34. The second half started much like the first when UNC outscored Montana State 16-6 in the first 4 minutes. Spite scored another 23 points before the end of the game to give him a total 41 points and break the previous UNC record of 37. Spite's big game propelled the Bears to an 86-63 victory over Montana State. The Bears' record improves to 6-5 in the conference and 15-9 overall. This week, the Bears hit the road for 2 games. Tonight, they take on the Idaho State Bengals, and Saturday, they head to Ogden, Utah for a date with the Weber State.
Friday was Military Appreciation Night at the Greeley Ice House, so it's only fitting that Air Force came away with the win. It was the second installment of the event, which featured a pre-game ceremony and a silent auction. As for the game, the teams combined for 5 power play goals. Air Force got out to an early 2-0 lead, shutting the Bears out in the first period. UNC responded quickly in the second when Mitch Bailey scored within the first 4 minutes, cutting the deficit to 2-1. The Falcons would add another before the end of the second to make it a 3-1 game. The Bears made it 3-2 early in the third when Garrett Woods scored on the power play. Air Force scored an insurance goal late in the period, giving them an eventual 4-2 victory. Despite the loss, Northern Colorado still earned a first-round bye in the playoffs. They play in the semifinals at 9:15 p.m. Saturday at the Ice House.
The Big 12 Conference continues to prove tough. Senior night didn't go as planned for Northern Colorado wrestling as they fell 24-16 to West Virginia Saturday night at the Bank of Colorado Arena. The Mountaineers took an early 5-0 lead in the first, dominating the opening weight class by a tech fall victory. But number 24, Rico Montoya, answered back. In the final 30 seconds, Montoya scored a takedown and a 2-point near fall to win an 8-3 decision and get the Bears on the board. Following Montoya's lead, Tyler Kinn was on a mission to make it a night to remember, winning a 17-6 major decision in his final home duel. Out of the break, number 17, Keelan Torres made the most of his senior night, pinning his opponent in the second period and putting UNC back in the duel 15-13. UNC hoped to earn the points from usual suspect number 15, Dylan Gable, but ultimately fell short in a 3-1 decision. Robert Winters won the final matchup of the night in the heavyweight class, but it wasn't enough for the Bears to come out with a team victory. So the Bears take their fourth straight loss, moving to 1-4 in the conference, and the Mountaineers moved to 4-3. UNC heads to Wyoming Saturday for a chance at redemption.
It's been a pretty nice week. What are the current conditions, Abigail?
Right here on campus, 58 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Men have a basketball game this weekend in Idaho, but as you can see, they are just missing this band of snow up in northern Montana. For this weekend, men have a game against Sacramento State, and it's going to be around 26 degrees for that game on Friday. On Sunday, men's tennis is also going to play the University of Utah, where they're going to see temperatures around 29 degrees. Women's tennis is going to be playing Saturday against Metro State University, and we're expecting snow and some very chilly temperatures, only 17 degrees for the high that day. On Sunday, looks like it's going to be around 26 degrees for their game against the Sacramento State. On Friday, track has a match in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where it's going to be around 66 degrees for both Friday and Saturday, with mostly sunny skies and nice conditions all weekend. The Olympics start tomorrow, and in South Korea, it's going to be around 33 degrees for the start of the ceremonies. And boy, is this going to be a fun one to watch. Back to you.
Are the Denver Nuggets the best team in the NBA? Well, if you just started watching the season this week, you might think so. The Nuggets faced a tremendous challenge as the Oklahoma City Thunder and Golden State Warriors traveled to the Pepsi Center. In one of the most unexpected victories this season, the Nuggets defeated the Thunder 127-124 off a buzzer-beating three-pointer by Jamal Murray over Russell Westbrook. Moving to Saturday, a record-breaking 20,013 people filled the Pepsi Center to see Golden State take on Denver. The rivalry between Denver and Golden State is often overlooked, but never boring. The Nuggets won 115-108 to join the Houston Rockets as the only teams this season to beat the Warriors twice. Nuggets fans weren't breathing easy quite yet, though, because, well, we've seen this before, right? The Nuggets get a huge win or series of wins, then fall to the next subpar team they play. So fans were nervous when the Charlotte Hornets came to the Pepsi Center. I mean, the Nuggets shouldn't have any trouble with the Hornets after all, right? Well, the Nuggets kept their strong offense going and won in a blowout 121-104 victory. Now we see if this week was a fluke or if the Nuggets are actually for real. They travel to Houston Friday, Phoenix Saturday, and then back home to host the Spurs on Tuesday. Stay tuned to BearZone to see the results.
From underdog to top dog, the Philadelphia Eagles took down the New England Patriots 41-33 Sunday in a thrilling Super Bowl 52. The Eagles went up early after a Jake Elliott 25-yard field goal with just under 8 minutes left in the first. About 3 minutes later, the Pats' Steven Gostkowski tied things up with a 26-yarder. Things got a little rocky for the Pats after that. Philadelphia continued to build their lead through the first half. Another field goal and a touchdown got New England back within 3, but the Eagles had a trick up their sleeves. Quarterback Nick Foles fooled the New England D when he lined up under center and wound up wide open to catch a touchdown pass from Trey Burton. Philly headed to the locker room up by 10. The Eagles maintained their lead until tight end Rob Gronkowski's TD with less than 10 minutes to go, giving the Pats a 1-point lead. Foles led a 14-play, 75-yard drive that ended with a bobbling touchdown to tight end Zach Ertz. The TD survived the review, and the Eagles regained the lead with just 2 minutes left. Eagles fans sat on the edge of their seats when Tom Brady got the ball with what seemed like a lot of time. Just 2 plays into the drive, Brady coughed the ball up on a sack, and Philadelphia recovered the fumble. The Eagles kicked another field goal to increase their lead to 8 with just 1 minute left. An exhausted defense held the Patriots, and as a defeated Tom Brady sat on the field, the Eagles and Eagles fans everywhere celebrated their first Super Bowl victory. The big game was full of firsts. The combined 1,151 yards were the most in any regular or postseason game in history. MVP Nick Foles was the first quarterback to throw and catch a touchdown pass in one Super Bowl. And of course, the Lombardi Trophy will see the streets of Philadelphia for the first time.
The greatest athletes in the world travel to Pyeongchang, South Korea this week for the 2018 Olympic Games. Athletes represent their countries for the next 2 weeks. What should you look out for this year? Well, some familiar faces returning to Team USA. Shaun White is back on the halfpipe, and Lindsey Vonn returns to the alpine skiing circuit. But Vonn won't be the only skier you should watch out for. Colorado native Michaela Schifrin represents Team USA in slalom. Schifrin took gold in 2014 in slalom for the U.S., and since then she's torn up the World Championship circuit, winning gold in 2015 and 2017, and she doesn't look like she wants to accept anything less in Pyeongchang either. Outside of Team USA, what else should you look out for? Well, in an unprecedented move, North and South Korea will walk under one united Korean flag during the opening ceremony. The two Koreas bring a joint women's hockey team. And do you remember the 1993 film Cool Running? Well, there's going to be another unlikely competitor in the bobsled event this year, Nigeria. 3 former track athletes formed the first African women's bobsled team to qualify for the Olympics, so be sure to look out for them in the prelims and maybe even the finals. The opening ceremonies kick off on Friday, and the games last until February 25th. Don't have time to watch it all? Well, stay up to date with the Olympics this year. Stay tuned to BearZone. And that is our show for tonight. Be sure to stay up to date on our Twitter and Instagram pages, BearZone UNCO, and on YouTube, Bear News 98.
Make sure to like us and to join us every week for BearZone. All sports, all the time for UNC Athletics. Good night.